Good morning. Happy Sunday. Look who's running late again. I'm here. Who wants to come to the playground? It's time. I got no idea what we're going to talk about today. Nothing. That's always a good day. When I have no idea, then it's like, oh, okay. I'm letting go. And then the message always comes through. So it's Sunday. What day of the week is it? Today is Sunday. Today is Sunday. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Hi, Sophia. Good morning. Hello, Carol. Good morning. Who else is here? Somebody else is sneaking in the back door. Do you ever do that when you've gone to church? You're like, I want to be able to get back out just in case. If this person in the pulpit gets really crazy, I want to be able to sneak out the back door. So sometimes we do that, don't we? We don't let people know that we're there just in case so we can sneak out if we need to. So... Afternoon from Stockholm. Very good. Good morning. Good morning. Hi, Caroline. How are you this morning? Good morning. I'm a little late today. I'm a lot late. I just couldn't. I've been up for a long time. I just haven't got. I've had a lot of stuff going through my world. So I've been dealing with things instead of getting ready to get on here. That's the story of me. Life happens, right? We're all in it together. So. I don't know about you guys, but there's such an energy. The energy is really, really shifting. I see some more. Come on in. Good morning. We call it, I'm going to go back into that. When I was in church, we would call the front row the amen corner. That's kind of where you go if you really need help. If you're really a mess, you go sit in the amen corner. And then there's the ones that would hide in the back. I know when I had little ones, I would hide in the back of the church because I thought if I had to sneak out with that baby, if it started to cry, I could get out easy. We got that escape plan always. We're like, if I need to go, I can sneak out quietly if I sit in the back. And if you're up in the amen corner, forget it. Everybody's going to see you sneak out. So I used to spend a lot of time. I don't know why I'm going back here this morning. There must be a reason. My grandmother was a big part of a Baptist church in Penn, New York, where I was born. And when I was little, when I would come to visit, she would take me to church with her. And I remember going down to the front when they would do the children's story. And it was a special place. It was a very special. I went there again about a year and a half ago. I went back to that church. My grandmother's not there anymore. She passed away a long time ago before Abby. But I still felt her presence walking through that church. It's just one of those places. She was the treasurer from the time she was very young. She took over the treasurer as the church. In the church, and she worked there, and she was a servant. And when I got older, I started teaching Sunday school. I started teaching, Vacation Bible School. I loved Vacation Bible School. That was a blast. I started working with a youth group. I started getting really involved in the church, and it felt good because my grandmother always encouraged it so much. And she would say, I know you've got a meeting at church tonight. I'm going to come over and take care of the kids for you. And I'd be like, thank you, Grandma. You know, she was an amazing soul. Lived in service. She loved my kids. She loved all of us. Grandchildren, great-grandchildren. She was such an unconditional kind of person. She just loved us. No matter what a mess I was. And I was a mess back then. She just loved me, you know? And I think that's where I'm going today, is that's why they're pulling me into that memory. It's so much. Life is, we get into so many relationships. You know, and we're always sorting. We're always sorting through our relationships, whether they be, I realized something today, one thing about my relationship in my first marriage. It was abusive, it was mean, it was no fun at all, but I learned from it. I learned a lot from it. And then I would sit back and go, okay, what did I learn about love? I learned what I didn't want in a human being. That was important. And I brought 6 of the most amazing souls into the world through that relationship. And even though he couldn't give me what I needed, every one of those babies, when I held them in my arms, I fell in love, deeply in love. And I realized, this is what love is. So every time, there was that expansion of the heart. It got a little bigger. Do you ever, when you have multiple kids, you're like, man, I love this one so much. How can I love another one as much as I love this one? And then the next one comes along and you're like, wow, it's still there. There's more I can give. I have more love that I can give to this one. And then another one comes along and you're like, surely, no, it's not going to work. And then, of course, you fall in love again. And you just keep falling in love. And isn't that what life is all about? It's this series of falling in love, of experimenting, of learning more about humanity, of learning more about ourselves, and going deeper and deeper and deeper into this huge well that's within us to see how deep it can go. So every relationship that we have, even the ones that hurt us the most, they're all opportunities for us to grow as a soul, You know, you think, oh, what did my physical self learn? Well, maybe not that much, but my soul, in every lifetime, in every relationship that I have, and that includes all of you, those people who choose to come into my world, who I allow me to teach, and are some of the best friends, closest friends that I've ever had. Every one of you, we're all teaching each other, and we're all learning so much, and we're all growing and expanding in the most amazing ways because we're reconnecting. That's where it all comes down to, is this reconnection. I think about all of us in that sweet sanctuary, that place that I went to as a child, that I still see today as being one of the sweetest places energetically that I've probably ever been on the planet. When I walked back in there a year and a half ago, I was like, wow. When I walk into this building, there is such a sense of love. And it's not because it's a church. It's because my memories take me back down that road to that grandmother who loved me no matter what. No matter what. And I would listen to her. I remember she didn't have a really great singing voice. I remember, though, she would stand beside me, and when they would start to sing hymns, she was singing loudly. and I was like, wow, nothing stopped her. And she was always there. She would do things when they would have gatherings, when they would have to cook food to do different bake sales or whatever, or have gatherings down in the basement. She'd be making coffee, or she'd make a bunch of stuff at home and she'd bring it, and she would offer. She was always offering of herself, always giving. She taught me so much, that relationship. So I'm going deeply into relationships today, can you tell? It's like, okay, that's the direction we're going. What relationships have you had in your life that changed the whole trajectory of your life? I would have to say pretty much all of them in some way. Even that first marriage of mine, it changed my trajectory. My gosh, I brought 6 babies into the world that I was deeply and am deeply in love with. My grandmother, this little girl who felt like an alien on the planet, that really, in school, at home, siblings, I always felt like I was so different from everyone else, and I don't know that I would have made it through to be the person that I am today if it hadn't been for that sweet soul, for a few people in my life that were there, a babysitter and her husband when I was small, that opened their door and their arms to me, that let me know what it was to travel like a family. They took us to the mountains a couple of times, in Hershey Park, Pennsylvania. They took us on these trips, and they ran a youth group, so they just loved kids, and they taught me about love. And my grandmother, she taught me about love. And my children, and every one of my relationships, whether they've worked or not. I had to learn from Corky, the first one. He was Steve too. I called him Corky. Everyone called him Corky. I had to learn something from him. I had to learn that I was worthy of love. I had to learn that I can love someone even after they hurt me. I think that's what he taught me. It took 5 years for us to fully sort it out after we finally got separated. It took 5 years to where I could be in the same space with him without fear. And the first thing that happened after 5 years was that I walked over and he came to give me a hug, and I allowed it. And I realized that it took 5 years, but I fully forgave him for everything. And I learned from that. I learned from our relationship. I learned that I was capable of going through pain and fear and all of that stuff and coming out the other side and still finding love. I love these things. We sit here and talk because it helps me to sort. And Steve came along next, and my gosh, he taught me that I deserved to be loved. He gave me the kind of love that I deserved. Maybe I didn't think I deserved it, but he gave it anyway. And when he died, when he got sick, and then when he died, both of them, blasted me wide open and taught me how to love him at that same level. I couldn't love him the way he loved me until I knew I was losing him. And then I did. He taught me. And Peter. Peter for 2 years. I had to learn a lot from him. I still had a lot of damage inside of me. I learned a lot. He taught me. He triggered me right and left. And he gave me opportunities to heal. And Jim is just a big love bug. And I've learned a lot from him. And I'm still learning. I'm learning through all of my relationships. And they continue. And as I grow and expand, there's times when I feel like I'm expanding too big. I know I felt like I was expanding too big for Steve. And then he left me. So it's not easy, you guys. It's not easy, is it? We have so many relationships, whether they be romantic relationships, whether they be family members like grandmothers or babysitters or teachers. I had some teachers that were very special to me. I have all of you, and you guys are so special. If you could only know what it's like, you probably already do, what it's like to get to a place where you've always felt like an alien on a planet, never really been able to fully love or be loved by anyone physical, and then to come to a place where we are right now, where we are learning that it's okay to take off the cloak and to fully love, to give love unconditionally, and the second part of that, to receive love unconditionally no matter what. No matter what. Can we come to a place where we can finally allow ourselves to, we've always been unconditional lovers, all of us, haven't we? Those of us who are empaths, light workers, we came here to love the world through some horrible, horrible circumstances. That's our job. Our biggest job is just to reach out and love. We just have to love each other, right? But we find it, as angels, all of you angels, we have a hard time ever coming to the place of believing that we could receive that same kind of love, that we deserve to receive unconditional, pure love from another human being, from any other human being. And so here we are circling each other. We're finding each other, these soul connections, and we're reaching out and we're connecting energetically. We're meditating together. Oh, I love these meditations with the groups that we're in, where we're deeply going into meditation and we're rediscovering each other and our past lives together, and we're like, wow, can you remember? Do you remember when we were this? Can you remember when we lived this lifetime together? Isn't that the most amazing thing, and maybe the most important thing that these classes have brought to me and to many others, is this rediscovery that we have been playing games on this planet since the beginning of its creation. That we can go all the way back and see how in the beginning we crawled out of the water and we kept changing and evolving. Can you see yourself way back there, maybe as a little tiny amoeba, so microscopic that nobody could see you? Can you go all the way back to there? And can you see each other in that place, in the very beginning of the creation of this planet? And spend time 500 years ago, 100 years ago. Maybe it's because the veil is thinning and time is going away that we're able to see each other in these places now. You ever think about that? It's all really, if there's no linear, then it's all kind of rolling over itself. And suddenly we're shifting and we're like, oh, I can see it. I see where you were in my lifetime. In another lifetime, I see you. And then we go back in again and we're like, oh, I see you again. You got to play that role that time. Wasn't that cool? And then what I want you to realize is, as you're sitting there seeing one another in different roles with each other in different lifetimes, that you're also realizing that this lifetime is only a role that you're playing. That we're all here playing another role. And that one of these days you'll look back and go, hey, do you remember when we lived through that pandemic together, that we came into the planet to help people, to help humanity, and there was a horrible pandemic and many people died, and someday we'll be looking at that. We'll be reviewing that together, looking at it and saying, oh yeah, man. And it's so good that you did this, and you did a great job at that. Man, I'm so glad you were there to support people. And you know, we'll be doing that. We'll be sitting around a big round table. We'll call it the Knights of the Round Table. And we'll be reviewing everything that we're doing in this lifetime. It's a deep message today, isn't it? It's cool. It's cool because I'm so falling into this energy right now. There's so many ways that my world is revolving around others that have done this before. And I'm loving it. And when I'm with those people, I feel like I'm at home. And I take my cloak off and I allow you to see the fullness of me without covering me up. And that feels amazing. And if you haven't had the chance to do that yet with some other soul friends, I know right now we can't gather physically, but we can sure gather energetically. Zoom is a very popular thing. Reach out to each other. Start remembering who you really are. You are not just a personality. You're not just this person that you're walking the planet in this body. That's not all that you are. And if there's so many people that can't see how much more than they think that they are, they're still stuck in that one personality, but you're not, because you're here and you're still listening to me. So you're not. You're one of those chosen people, one of those very old souls, ancient, that has been here since the beginning of time, has lived many lifetimes, and you're ready to realize that you're greater than just this. And we're coming into a time of full and complete awakening of the truth of who we are. And I don't know what's going to happen with everybody else that's still sleeping. I don't have all the answers. But I do know that those who are willing are coming into the greatest awakening that humankind is ever experienced. And I am grateful to be a part of it, and I'm grateful to all of you for being a part of it with me. That's what I got today. Yeah, I do believe, Lauren, I think you're right, and I don't like to use the word chosen people because sometimes we get our ego involved and we're like, oh, I'm chosen. It's not egoic at all. It's just some souls have done this so many times and have chosen. It's not that we were chosen, it's that we have chosen. Turn that around. We have chosen to go to experience what's going on in the world right now. And we have chosen to come here and lift the vibration and to do what we need to do to help humanity to continue to exist. Because the truth is, if we weren't here, humanity would not continue to exist. We would have done ourselves in a long time ago. We've been trying. You know that. Humanity has been trying to do itself in for a very long time. We go to war. We create bigger bombs, scarier bombs. We create viruses. We create circumstances. We create horrible things to try to do one another in. We have been trying for so long. Antimatter. They don't stop messing with antimatter. We're all going to implode into nothingness. And the truth is that the powers that be will not allow humanity to destroy this planet. So, if it ever came to that, the planet would be reset again, and humanity would be gone. So here we are, superheroes. We're here to raise the vibration, to help humanity to come into a new type of existence. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? But that's the truth. We're sure trying, aren't we? We've been trying for many lifetimes. We've been trying. We keep coming in. We keep coming in. We keep coming in. Nope, not ready yet. Not ready yet. Not ready yet. Oh, how I hope humanity is ready this time. I love this planet so much. And I really love the people. They might make me crazy when they're so stuck, but I really love the people too. And I really want to see it change. I really want to see it get better for everyone. I really want to see every child with a full belly and everyone with a warm home to live in. And I want to see everyone feel loved, truly loved, unconditionally. That's what I want to see more than anything. Because if we start with love, the rest of it just falls into place. We can go, oh, how could we ever feed everyone on the planet? We do it with love. Because when we truly love each other unconditionally, there is nothing that we won't do to make sure that everyone else on the planet has what they need. And first need is love, right? That's the answer. We just have to keep on loving. Oh, I'm so ready, Lauren. I'm so ready. If you knew what I've been going through especially this past week, and it repeats over and over again, this I'm so tired. I'm tired, boss. You know that from the Green Mile? I'm tired, boss. I'm tired of the way people hurt each other. I'm tired of the pain and the suffering and the loss and the grief. I'm tired, boss. So that part of me is like, okay, anytime. And then there's the other part of me that knows that we have work to do. We got to stick around. We are here for a powerful purpose, and I'm not going anywhere anytime soon, as far as I know. I hope we're all going to stick around, do what we came here to do. Good afternoon, Denise. Good afternoon. Happy Sunday to you. Excuse me, it's very dry. Heat dries me out, and it never stops. It never stops blowing. I don't know what's up with the fan in this house, but if my heat's on, the fan's always on. So I'm so dry. We cannot force it. It's right. We can't. We not only can we not force anyone to go there, it's not even our right. Every piece of us, we're all connected, truly, we're all one, but all these other pieces that are floating around the earth, they all have to go down their own separate paths. They're all going to do it their way. And some of them, many of them, are not going to figure it out in this lifetime. And that's okay with me. Even when it means it's my loved ones, I have to be okay if they choose to stay back and not move forward. And I still have to be willing to let go and move forward. That's been a hard lesson. I wonder how many of you are going through that. When our children, when our spouses, when our loved ones, they want to stay back, they don't want to move forward. Do we allow them to be an anchor? Or do we pull up that anchor and say, I got to keep going anyway. I love you. I love you. And I got to keep moving forward. And I can't let anybody hold me back. That's the tough part. Going through it. And it's tough. I'm looking for you guys. There's a lot going on in that room. Thank you guys for keeping up with each other. Hi, Umi. Feeling like reconnecting, feeling the part of the whole exactly. It's like we're plugging into each other. I always say plugging into the other side, like your higher self plugging in. But we, as light workers, however many of us there are here, everybody has different numbers, whether it's 144,000 or whatever it is. We're all like reuniting, plugging in with each other. That cord, that attachment, this is healthy. We can keep that cord, that golden cord to that other light worker, where we help each other, where we have this, we feel connected to one another. I love the word connections. That was Steve's word, connections. His last word in the memorial service, the only word that would come out of my mouth, connections. I get it now, Steve. I get it. He's like, yay! She's graduated kindergarten. She gets it. I get it. It was important to get out here. It took a pandemic for most of us, didn't it? I was reaching. I can look back at my memories. I would pop on every so often and share a little bit of wisdom or whatever that was coming through to me. But that pandemic pushed us to make that concerted effort to schedule ourselves time to meditate together and to reach out to each other and really form these beautiful connections. So if that pandemic is a pain, I know we all want it to be done and over, but it still has work to do. Apparently we're not quite there yet. We're still getting pushed. People are still getting pushed into stepping out, showing their light. So as long as that's needed, we can't control it. We just have to roll with it, don't we? What do we got? You're right, it's not tough love. It's easy love. Tough love is tough. Yeah, tough love. Let me see if I can get some wisdom on that. It's not that it has to be tough. It's not that it has to be tough. It's really not tough. It's just, I still love deeply. I still love my children unconditionally. My relationships. I love people unconditionally that have come into my world. And I can continue. I've been working on this lesson all morning, so I know that I can continue to love. But I can't continue to let them hold me back. And there's a difference. So the process is you love unconditionally and you continue to send them love and you cut any cords or attachments so that they're not holding you back. That's the problem with most of us. We allow almost like really like an umbilical cord to those people that we really love. It might be our parents or our grandparents or our sisters or our brothers or our cousins or nieces, nephews, kids, lovers, whoever it is. We will allow them to form attachments to connect to us. And because we love them so much, we don't want to cut those cords. We want to let that energy continue to flow back and forth. The trick is that we can love without having attachments. We can have Archangel Michael come in and sever those attachments. It doesn't hurt them. We're allowing them to stand in their own energy. We're allowing them to go down their own path. We are not enabling them. When we have those cords and attachments, we're really just enabling them to live off of our energy. You know, like everywhere we go, they're attached. Like I always picture myself like a boat going through the water, and behind me is this wake of energy. And those people that I really love are like riding that wake. They're like on their skis or whatever, water skis or their water tubes, and they're riding back there. They're tied to me, and they're in my wake. They're back there, and they're having a great time. Truly, they're having a great time. They're like, woohoo, this energy is awesome. Life is wonderful. But they're not doing their own work. They got to each get their own boat. It's time. It's time to cut those ropes wherever they're attached to you. They're going to have to get their own boats. They're going to have to do their own work. Even if it means they're in a paddle boat. Even if it means that they're way behind us and they may never catch up to us. And they're in their little paddle boat and they're working hard. And you're like, God, I'm so sorry that you got to work so hard. And yet, I can't paddle that boat for you. You got to do your own paddling, babe. You got to do it yourself. And as I do that and I cut those cords, I do it with love. Okay, you're cute back there in your little paddle boat. Have fun. Enjoy yourself. If you ever need me, if you ever need some love, it's here. I don't have to remove the love from the situation. I'm always here to love you. But I can't let you hold me back anymore. Does that make sense? Yes. Yeah, you're right, Lauren. There are career homeless people. We're working on an unconditional love of just loving people no matter where they choose to be. Can you look on that homeless person and say, ah, there I am. That's a part of me. That person is a part of me. I love them. And if I'm walking by them and they're asking for money and I've got a little cash on me, I'm not going to stop and decide whether or not that person is worthy of my love. If I have a few bucks and I feel that internal pull to give it to them, I'll give it to them. And I'm not going to say, oh, well, they're probably just going to go buy themselves another bottle of liquor, or, you know, I don't know how they're going to use it. Maybe they're going to abuse it. Maybe they're going to go buy drugs. It's not my place. It's not my place to decide who deserves to have love, who deserves to receive love, or whatever else I have to offer. It's only my place that when I get that intuitive push to reach out to somebody that I do it. I'm only responsible for my response. I'm not responsible for their response. Boy, we're just full of messages today. Carol, I am struggling with allowing an individual back into my life. I needed to end it for my own sanity. I don't think anything has changed for me to do it. Yeah, that's difficult, isn't it? It's like, just because they want us doesn't mean that they are supposed to have us. That if we allow people to come back in and they're just going to draw our energy again, they're just going to do what they did before, and they didn't fit before, and they haven't really changed, and chances are good, logically, intelligently, that they're just going to do the same thing again. That there's so many, we carry a higher energy than most of the people on the planet, and that's not being egotistical, that is just the way that we're wired. And so there are people that will latch onto that energy like it's an umbilical cord or a life rope. Life rope is probably better. Umbilical cord's kind of gross. But they'll latch onto that energy and they want to cling. They want to cling to it because it's beautiful and it makes them feel good. But they can't find it within themselves. They can only find it in other people, and they search for it. And that's why narcissism is so big these days. It's not that they're out there, you know, I believe that we're all perfect souls, but a narcissist has never learned how to find the love within themselves. So they will always look for that love on the outside. And when they feel like they're losing that love, they'll turn it into hate, really. That's the difference, is that a narcissist can go from love to hate in a flat out second. They got a strong engine when it comes to that kind of stuff. They love you until the second they feel like they're going to lose you, or lose your love, lose your connection. And then they will turn on you like a rabid wolf because they don't know. They just don't get it yet. They don't realize that the love that they're seeking, the love that they're longing for, is within their own hearts. That's the truth, is that we have to find it here first before we can find it out there. And many, many people in society, in the world, are looking for it out there first to fill what's in here. And it doesn't work that way. And most of you, I hope, know that already. It doesn't work that way. We have to start with self-love. We have to look for it in ourselves first. And once we find it within, then we can put out the energy of having someone in our lives that also has it in there and is not looking on the outside for it. Then you got it going on. And I believe that most of us that are in the world right now are coming to a place where we're being gifted with that. Because we're coming to this deeper level of love, we're being gifted with a deeper level of love from other people. It's really beautiful. It's time to find those twins. It's time to find those soulmates. It's time. It's a message that I'm receiving big time, that it's okay to let yourself be loved. There really is. Here's my thing, is I never thought that there would be another person in the world that could give the kind of love that I offer. So I always settled. I've always been just a total love bug. And I never thought that I would ever find anybody else that could give love to the extent that I'm able to give. But there is those people. There are those people. There are those people in the world that can give love to the extent that you're able to offer to them. But it requires us to look at where we are in life and whose attachments we've got on us. Where are those attachments? Who is in your circle that is maybe drawing that energy off of you but not giving back equally? And those are the ones that you have to say, okay, I gotta let you go. I love you, but I can't keep letting you draw off of me. You have to find this on your own. It's time. It's time for you to step off your own plank. We all got to get to the end of that plank at some point and let go. And then fall. Free fall. To whatever there is underneath. Without fear. And if there is fear, we got to push our way through it anyway. Oh, I'm afraid if I let go of everything I know and everyone that I know, that my whole world is going to fall apart. And that's really not true. That's when it all falls together. It's letting it all go and just free falling off that plank into the ocean. You know, I wrote about it, 4 years ago in Anchorlight, and yet I didn't fully understand most of what I was writing because it was channeled. And now, as I'm getting further down the path, it makes more and more and more sense. It's amazing what happens when we fully let go. Without holding back. Just release. And see what comes. So Lauren's free falling. She's singing songs again. Denise. Sorry, must be pop off and listen later. Okay, you go do what you gotta do. Have a great day, Denise. Alright, you guys. Umi, this is my struggle of these days too. Yeah, we're all in this together, aren't we? Non-awakened loved ones. Just keep sending love and accepting their choices. That's what we have to do, don't we? It's not easy because we love so much that, man, we don't want to see them. But I do feel like we're getting a buffer. I do feel like it's getting easier for us. Like suddenly we're like, oh, it's okay. They're going to be okay. Everyone is going to be okay. Can I tell you that? That even if you walk away from certain people, or if you cut those cords and you don't let them pull you down, that it actually releases their energy to go off in a different way. And that maybe at the time that you release and you let them walk, if we had a toddler and every time they went to walk, we went over and took their hand so they wouldn't fall, well, sure, they'd never get hurt, but they'd also never learn to walk all by themselves. So we cut these cords so that they can learn how to manage their own energy, so that they can learn to find this deep love. And if we'd had anybody holding on to us too tightly, we would have never gotten to where we are today, right? So we all needed to learn how to stand and walk on our own, even though it hurt. And now Steve died so I could learn to stand and walk on my own. Imagine that. Worst trauma I could ever have possibly gone through. I was so angry at him. But he taught me the greatest lesson, that I can do this all by myself, that I am okay all by myself, that I can find love within me. And that will make me stronger in any other relationship that I ever have. That I can be here with my kids and I can watch them, and it hurts me to see them hurt themselves or make poor decisions. And yet that is their job, that is their soul mission, to go out and to learn and to go through suffering and hardship just like I did. And it really is no fun watching it. And yet I'm getting more and more and more okay with it. It's like my guides, my angels, they're helping me to do that easier. So ask for help. As hard as it is, ask for help. They're always there to help you get through these difficulties. So we got about 5 minutes. We really got to get, not even that. So we're going to go into meditation anyway, because I always run late. We're going to do it anyway because we need to, okay? So let's do it quickly. Get your feet on the ground. Just feel those roots. I'm going to draw in some angelic energy just for you. I'm already feeling it. They come in the building. They take my breath away. Bring it. We're bringing in the energy of source. All that there is. So you can just bathe in it for a few minutes. So just be here with me. Firmly planted on the ground. Allowing that earth energy to come back up through your roots. To ground you. To hold you. And if you're going through a hard week like I am, let's just be held again today. So I want you to imagine yourself, those little parts of you that are scared of letting go, those parts of you that hurt by watching other people suffer, the parts of you that make you want to cry all the time lately, that little person inside of you that just wants to have a good cry. I want you to bring that little person to the circle today. It's playground time. Bring that little person. Find her or him. Take a big breath and pull that person, along with your higher self, into the circle. Nice. Big breath. Pull in this beautiful healing energy. The angels are all around each one of you. They're not just around me, they're around you. You have a beautiful team. They're amazing. And they're there to support you always. So they're gathering. So as we come into this little play space, you have this beautiful circle of angels. And you have your higher self, who is the most comforting source you can ever go to for your answers, for your comfort. And I want you to see your higher self sitting there in a rocking chair. And I want that little one inside of you that wants to cry or have temper tantrums, who is having such a struggle with where humanity is right now. I want that little one to climb up into the lap of your higher self. And I want you, your higher self, your true self, to comfort that little one for a little while. It's so beautiful. So see yourself in that rocking chair. You're both all cozied up. This little child of you is sitting there, and just melt for just a few minutes. I want you. You ever seen a baby when they just, especially little ones, they're not afraid yet, and they just literally, you hold a newborn and they melt into you because they're so trusting and so loving. And if you can't picture that with a child, if you've never held a newborn, then think of a little tiny puppy or a kitten. You know, cats, they just lay on your lap and they just melt, and you're like, they almost become a part of you. Allow yourself to just feel like that for a few minutes. Become a part of this higher self you. Just melt into each other and be held as we rock. Calling in all the angels to surround each one of you. Archangel Michael to protect you, to care for you, to clear your home, to clear your energy, to help you to cut any cords. He's standing there and he's like, do you want me to cut this one? You get to decide. Anyone that's in your life, if you need to cut those cords, if they're holding you back, you just got to say yes. For me, I'm saying yes to any cords, any attachments, anything that is within me, around me, in my space, in my home, around any one of my children, anything that can be, that is for my highest of good, for their highest of good. Anything, I'm allowing the angels to come in and clear that away. And if you want that too, you just say, yeah, what she said. They hear you. And then just sit in it for a minute. Allow yourself to be held and know that your angels have gone to work for you. They're clearing your space. They're clearing away all of this heaviness. Allowing you to feel your wings again. Allowing you to feel like you could fly. Isn't that beautiful? Just keep rocking. It's okay. It's okay. Keep bringing comfort to that little one while the angels do all the work. You don't have to do the work. Just relax. Nice. Nice. So beautiful. So source energy is coming down through each one of you. As you're willing to allow, it comes down over your crown. The energy of everything, the energy of the universe, the energy that you carry within you, the very spark of everything, the greatest power there will ever be, is now right over your head. And it's coming down through the crown. It's touching your head. Can you feel that? Like a beautiful hand right here. Feel that. Put your hand up there on top of your head. Feel the energy flow. Goes right down through your crown. And very quickly, we're going to clear right down through your third eye. Getting those chakras spinning beautifully so your energy flows today. Down through the throat. Feel it. Can you feel it? Yawn a little bit. Stretch your neck up. Get that spine straight. Wow. Big energy. Thank you, angels. Down through the heart. All the way, upper, lower, all the way down. It's stuck at the solar plexus a little bit. Continue to clear. Releasing, releasing. Somebody's got a cord at the solar plexus. If you're ready to release that, just say yes. Ah, there it goes. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Archangel Michael. Releasing. It's okay. They're gonna be okay. Just say, if you see somebody's face or hear a name and you're like, no, I can't, I'm not sure. Yes, I can let that go. It's okay. I'm gonna let them fly without me. It's okay. They're gonna be okay. Yes, I let it go. Down through the sacral chakra. Sweeping house. They're cleaning away old energy, allowing you to feel your own energy again. Look in the mirror when we're done. Look at yourself and say, oh, there I am. Ah, that feels good to see me again. And then say, I love you. Make sure you're loving you. Down into the root. All the way down the legs. That heat is just going right down your legs if you can feel it. Over your knees, down over the fronts of your lower legs, the backs, and down into your heels and into your feet and all the way out to your toes, and then back to that little center place in the center of your feet, the chakras, and into the centers of your hands. Chakras are there too, and the energy is flowing out. All of that negative lower vibrational energy is flowing out of your hands and your feet and right down into the earth. And the earth comes back. She says, okay, I'm doing my work. So she's just filtering it all out for you. And it's now all light energy. And it's coming back up through your roots. And back up into your feet. And up your legs. Up your thighs. All the way. Hits the base of your spine. Pull it up now. It's your job. Take a big deep breath. All the way up the back of your spine. Hear it coming up. And all the way up to your crown. And blowing right on out. And anything that's extra, you're all filled up now and you've got extra. You got all kinds of extra energy. So whatever's extra, bring it all the way up to the crown. I feel heat at the top of the head and just release. And anyone that you love, anyone that's sick, anyone that needs extra help today, if you want to send it out generally all the way around the planet, do that too. But take a big breath and just let it come right out of you. All this beautiful energy, share it out. Take just a second. Beautiful, beautiful. How beautiful it is when we gather and that energy just shares. We magnify each other. That's the truth, that we come together because our energies work together and we magnify each other, and we're just spreading this huge rainbow of love all the way around the earth right now. Well done. Well done. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will be back. Good morning, Brian. Good morning, Annie. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Anyone that I've missed? I think I got you all. If I missed you, I'm sorry. I love you guys so much. Wait a minute. Is that Melanie? Did I say hi to you, Melanie? Because I almost think I see your picture. Whoever I missed, Carol Ann, Sophia. I love your name, Sophia. Luz, hi. I think I did miss a couple as I was talking. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I love you guys so much. And I thank you so much for joining me today. Great meeting you too, Umi. Did you meet me in that space? Pull that. Make sure that that little one feels so loved today. As you were taking a big breath, I didn't say that, but that's what they do. They're like, okay, take a big breath, and you're pulling all that back into you, so you are complete and whole. Thanking the angels today for all the work that they did for us, and asking Archangel Michael to stay with you, to wrap you in a bubble of protection, so that you feel safe, so that that little one that was off in that little play space getting rocked continues. I don't want you to pull yourself back. I want you to continue to rock those parts of you that are still scared or sad. Continue to be held today. Okay, it's okay. It's okay to just keep holding that little one, bringing comfort for however long it's needed. Enjoy your day today. I'm going to get off of here before I get into trouble. I love you guys. I'll see you again tomorrow morning, God willing. Tomorrow's going to be a very busy day. Tomorrow is the winter solstice day, guys. Make plans. Make plans. We're going to do a Zoom room. If you're really drawn to it, let me know. We're going to do something special at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I love you guys. I will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.